Hey, welcome back to Alchemy of Ease. I'm your host, Brittany Smith, here forever and always. And today we're going to be talking about a little something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is those pesky little thoughts that just might be holding you back. So you might know these thoughts as limiting beliefs, but I like to think of them as habits of thinking. Changing these can literally transform your life in incredible ways. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, let's talk about who you really are. Like who you were before the world told you who to be, right? Like the essence of you. At your core, you are probably a loving person. You're worthy of all good things. And let's just say that good things naturally come to you. So, right now, we want to just focus on your true essence, not the stuff that you've picked up along the way. Not that there's anything wrong with that stuff. A lot of those things serve you well, and some don't. And that's totally okay. And there are a few thought patterns that you've picked up along the way that might not be helping you out so much right now. Sometimes these little patterns stick around because they've always been there. An analogy that Abraham Hicks gives is he says, imagine sticking your hand on a hot stove and just leaving it there and going, oh my God, that hurts so bad. Oh, it hurts so bad. And then I come along and I'm like, well, if it hurts, why don't you just take it away? Like move your hand off of the stove. And you look at me and you go, oh, well, I can't do that. And I say, well, why can't you do that? And you go, well, because it runs in my family. We've just always done this. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make much sense. And you go, yeah, well, sometimes there's been people in my family who've taken their hand off the stove, but then they've been ostracized and pushed out. So we leave our hand on the stove. So the interesting thing here is like in that particular case, it's like a family tradition, right? Everybody does it, even though it causes pain. And really, what it boils down to is that you just don't know any better. You don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. And so that's why I'm here today, right? Speaking to you about this, because what I want you to realize is that some of these thought patterns, well, they create a dominant vibration in your life. So think about money, for instance. When you think about money, does it make you feel free and adventurous or worried and stressed out? Think about your relationships. When you think about your significant other, if you have one, or, your relationships in general, do you feel excited and supported? Or do you feel stressed and like you're in some kind of weird, funky bondage going on? These feelings that come up, adventurous and free, or worried and stressed, these feelings that come up tell you which thoughts you've practiced more. Does that make sense? Yeah. And this goes for other areas too. Like I mentioned relationships, but it goes to the physical body and just then your general outlook on life. The idea here is that you pay attention to how you feel about these things. The feeling that you have is because you've practiced this way of thinking for so long. It's become your dominant vibration. Right now, not everybody's going to know what vibration is when I reference the term vibration. So I want you to think about vibration in terms of like a radio frequency. If you're tuned in to Island 106, then you're not going to pick up the music that's playing on 98.5 because you're tuned in to 106, right? Or if you're tuned into 98.5, you're not going to pick up the music that's playing on Island 106. And so it's the same concept here. If you're tuned into stress and bondage, you're not going to pick up on the radio dial that's at excitement and adventure. Okay? So I want you to think about it in those terms. That's the simplest way that I can kind of put it for you. But the thoughts that you've carried for the longest amount of time is what your dominant vibration is going to lean to. So are you worried and stressed, or are you free and adventurous? This is probably where I would write positive thoughts on one side and negative thoughts on the other side, because this is the core foundation in which all of it is built. You easily attract more of the same feelings and experiences. So the thoughts that you have that are the dominant ones, you've activated those thoughts most often. And that can be positive or negative, but probably if you're on this video, they lean a little bit to the negative side of things, right? So how do you change this? Well, you can't just stop thinking a thought, but you can start thinking a different one. So by focusing on what you feel and experience, you automatically activate new thoughts. And the more you focus on what you're feeling and experiencing and activating those new thoughts, the more the old ones fade away. Toodles. Right? So as you practice activating positive thoughts, the negative ones lose their grip. And you'll find that you naturally begin to focus on the good. And those old unhelpful thoughts, they'll pop up less and less. So before you know it, you're choosing and maintaining a vibration in your life that you want. So if you're on 98.5 right now and you hate country music, but you don't know how to get over to 106, activate a new vibration, a new frequency, or here you go, a new thought, a new feeling, a new experience. Okay? Before you know it, this will just be happening naturally in your life. You'll be maintaining that high vibe that you ultimately, I think we all desire. We just don't necessarily know what it is or how to get it. And then this is how you shift from feeling stuck to feeling empowered and in alignment with your true self. So taking you back to the essence, right, of what we said earlier. You're loved, you're worthy, everything's always working out for you. Confirmation as it's thundering right now. Okay, so with that being said, thanks for watching. I really, really hope that you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the future content. Leave a comment below about a limiting belief that you're ready to let go of and how you plan to replace it with a positive one. Let's support each other on this journey to transformation. And if you'd like to work one-on-one, my email is in the description. Just give me a shout and we'll get something set up. Until next time, keep believing in your worth and expecting good things. You've got this. Toodles.